A flicker in the night, so small yet so bright. Through shadows it fights, bringing warmth to the sight. A gentle whisper, a spark in the air. As the world feels too heavy, it's always there. Sparks of hope, light in the sky.
Welcome to Pauline's YouTube channel. I am Sr Olga Massango from the Daughters of St. Paul. Today's episode, Sparks of Hope, is Walking with Gen Z, a pastoral vision of peace and non-violence. In a time when youth across the world are grappling with economic pressure, political uncertainty, digital disorientation, and spiritual fatigue, the pastoral care of the Gen Z becomes urgent and prophetic. Today, we have with us two guests, that is, His Grace Archbishop Martin Kivuva of the Catholic Diocese of Mombasa, and Mr. Hubert, a German citizen working with Carrera and a key figure at the Peace University. Welcome to our program. It was an honor to have both of you. Mr. Hendel, can you briefly introduce yourself and your involvement with the Peace University?
Thank you, it's a pleasure. Thank you for giving this opportunity and inviting myself and our program and movement of Pan-African Peace Education and Peace Training to your YouTube channel of Pauline Publication. It's an honor for me, and I have the pleasure actually to take part on this conversation. My name is Hubert, and I am co-founding and managing director of the Pan-African Peace Training called University for Peace in Africa, UPA. I'm working within this program based on a larger input and a larger offer to community development programs, because with the teams from African experts, we support in general the development and the well-being and the social coherence of local communities, villages, youth groups and associations, parishes, and also the villages and the community on a local level. Through this accompaniment and training, we focus very much, as you said in your introduction, about the challenges of the modern world. We focus more and more on the competence and the attitude of peace building and becoming a peace builder on our own, on ourselves, but also as a member of all our communities. Thank you for this invitation.
What are the key social, psychological, spiritual challenges facing the youth today, particularly the Gen Z?
Okay, that is a huge question. My basic training and my basic professional background from leading to this Peace University is actually the education, pedagogics, and also I studied university degree in sociology. So maybe there is a generation and age difference for your question, but I may have some ideas and observations actually about what is moving and what is interesting and what is also challenging the young generation, especially in more or less still challenging general economical, political and geographical challenges that the youth is facing in Africa and particularly in Kenya. The basics, or let's say the ideas, observing also from people coming to our peace training, I would say, of course, there are very basic and very root causes that we have, that the youth has to cope with. So we have the, how can I say it, we have the challenge and sometimes also disorder of our families. We have the challenge of basic education within the family context first, which is not so much knowledge-based, but very much, humanity from the childhood to youth. We have, of course, the question of giving hope and giving a perspective, because if economic is weak, if also the population, situation with so many young people and a very weak economy, how to find jobs, how to have first also access to education and later on to jobs which are fulfilling also our life, not just earning money or having career, but giving also a personal spirit to my life. I think these are very, very, very deep challenges. And as you ask, maybe the need or the help or the accompaniment we can offer from the elderly generation, from society and from our peace training, I would say that first of all is to hear and to listen to these sufferings. You talked also already about the digital and so on, so there's so many distractions around, so that it may be not easy also for the youngsters to see themselves and to feel themselves in this challenge. So we have to be close and listen so that they can express first their challenges, but also positive, their ideas how to overcome these challenges, because the former methods, the former approaches which our generation was experiencing and was also educated in may not longer be suitable to meet your needs and your challenges in nowadays situation. So listening. Secondly is to offer, not to impose, not to direct, but to offer space and room for spiritual reflection. It must not be necessarily one church, one religion, whatever, but to make a connection as me as a young person, stepping into life, getting into adult situation and whatever, all these psychological development through childhood and puberty and all this, you know. To allow these younger people to get connected again to themselves and to feel what is their inner strength, but also their inner desire to develop their person and their life. And after all this, it comes school education, peace training and all this. This is my basic answer to your very interesting and very huge question.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hubert. Now, Archbishop Martin.
Yes, sister.
How do you define the pastoral care of this generation today, of the youth?
Once again, let me start by introducing myself. My name is Archbishop Martin Kivuva on Sunday. I'm the Archbishop of Mombasa, Archdiocese of Mombasa. For the last 10 years now, I'm there. To design, and your question is right, how do I reach out to the young people? And I think we pick it up from what Jesus said to all the disciples. Let little children come to me. Because everybody will say, keep away, keep away. The young people need to feel they're loved. they're cared for, they're listened, as my brother just said. The young people have needs like anybody else. They have aspirations and dreams. Some are unachievable, but others are achievable if they were given opportunity to explore how and when. Our Kenyan context is known to be a bigger number of young people other than the older generation. And this is a demanding team, numbers that are pushing and are wanting to have better life like everybody else. And it is so, even in the context of family. Because in the family, if you don't plan how you will educate your sons and daughters, how eventually it is possible to take the next step, how do they gain employment or self-employment, it becomes a really worry, because the worry is they feel kind of alone. So the church should be like a mother who collects a child, their children, and tries to listen to their needs and see how they can do it. Of course, there are no one answer. There are many answers to some of these questions. That it is that care or the way you do it that really matters also. You may have no food in the house, but in the fact that you are sharing, look at the pot, there is no food, gentlemen, we'll have to fast today because your dad or your mom is going to the shop. You know, typical, you walk the journey with them. Even when they're making a sacrifices, they know they're making a sacrifice because mom and dad are also making a sacrifice. In our context also, we are looking at not just the youth here. We have seen many places in our world today, they are, let's say, protesting. Let me call it, they're challenging the way we are running ourselves. We are running governments. They are challenging us how we are whether we are inclusive enough. And that's why that listening is key. And even giving them an option that whereby we're looking for the solution together. As a pastoral issue, the Catholic Diocese says where we have majority young people. The country, Kenya, the Conference of Catholic Bishops recently decided to declare youth ministry as a priority among us. And this begins, of course, the youth ministry begins from the family, going up to where they are in school, follow them where they are searching for jobs, guiding and counseling, which is very critical. Because when they're disillusioned, they get into all kinds of challenges. Some get into drugs, some get into alcohol, some just revolt. But we know these are our sons, these are our daughters, these are our friends, these are our family members. We cannot trust them. We cannot trust them. And of course, again, with time, people have learned the way to correct young people and young people in school and others. It has brought it, and the whole issue of bringing them closer, not pushing them away. So this is where the church in Africa has to think concretely. How do we bring the family to be closer to the younger people? How do we bring different sectors of youth at different levels to be able to have mentors, examples, because we all need more role modeling. And more modeling is not just about having this or having the other. It's living life in full, where they are also part of the growth of the country. So my take is, it's a very critical area, because if you don't mentor them now, if they don't grow, if the values we are all admiring and wish they had, Christ had, or the typical leader we call a true person who wants the whole body to grow of the nation, we will lose a lot. We lose a lot. They get sidetracked by modern technology. They get sidetracked by trying to follow examples that are away from us. But it is a responsibility that right from the family to the next level, to school, to universities. And as they leave university, they still are young, and particularly now, they should not be left just to wander about and find solutions. It has to be a concerted effort, and that's how even governments have big responsibility, because we are growing the nation together, not one-sided, the church alone, a government alone. And it is true that they get frustrated quite quickly because they feel nobody cares, you know. But we care, and I keep saying, reminding them when I meet them, I say, you know what? All of us, in one way or another, we are part of one group or another, a church, a Muslim group or a Christian group or a Hindu group. We have our own way of bringing our own young people. It is not just one way, but several ways, but it's the family-centered way, where we also see the example of Jesus coming to being one of us, born in a family of Mary, Joseph, and of course Jesus himself, what we call the Holy Family. That Holy Family had to go through a lot. They were in danger severally. Remember, they had to pack and go from to Egypt, running for refugee. They became a refugee. Sometime Jesus was lost in the temple. So the parents, two of them, had to find out, where is he? Which relative? Let's look. So there's an activity here we don't relegate to others. It is all of us together, Mama, Daddy, and also those who have responsibility to care of our young people in the institutions. We don't just let them grow like mushrooms. They don't grow like mushrooms. They are tended, they are taken care of, they are minded, they are given options that they can choose from. So, sister, this is a huge area of family, and how we can make this family become bigger than just the nucleus family.
Mr. Hubert, your organization, the University of Peace, has really to form the people to non-violence. What is this active non-violence? What does it mean? And how does it happen? Is it just beyond not fighting, or is something else?
Yeah. There's a lot to say, and even connecting with the reflection and the sharing of His grace. I would say that this project, even this program of the Peace University for Africa, came out. It's now just to encourage all of us to go for peace, to try to develop peace attitudes in myself and in my community. It's 25 years old. So it started actually at the moment where the international community and the United Nations, starting a new millennium, said we thought we should step forward. We should go beyond these decades of war and destruction and also poverty and all this. So at that moment, some young people, colleagues and friends of our development programs, sit together and say, okay, we have these declarations, we have this policy strategy on the international level. What can we do to make it real? And that is what I think is also very important if we talk about Gen Z, and Gen Z is everywhere. In our country, in Germany, also different expression, different way of expressing these challenges and also this feeling of nobody cares. These new young people at that moment said, okay, we need to build up a consistent and professional training of peace competencies. So this was actually this is itself a concrete example and a success story, if I may say, for listening to the young generation, giving space, as I said, to express, but also to do something, to experiment, you know, and then to start to do. Now we are 25 years on the way of this Pan-African peace training.
How can the principles on nonviolence, like dignity, justice, integrity, dialogue, forgiveness, be integrated into youth formation? Yes.
You see this kind of concepts and attitudes and basic elements of a human being. It is very difficult to put them and frame them in a curriculum that we may know from a knowledge-based training in school. So for this kind of elements, this kind of attitudes and inner values, you need to open up the space, as I said, to get in connection with yourself. And as we know from many religions, but from my own Catholic faith, to discover my own humanity, but also my link and my example for God, because He said, I am with you. You are the image of God. So this may be very strange for the younger listeners in your YouTube channel, but I think it's very, very important that we offer, and we do it in our Peace University, that we are offered this space and this invitation to get reconnected and to connect it to ourselves and to our spiritual dimension. And it's together, or let's say afterwards, that the other elements like methods of mediation, like you say, like an attitude and a communication of non-violence, or understanding what is conflict, how conflict is evolving, how conflict is escalating, how we can de-escalate actively a conflict. These are concepts very well known since 30 years, 40 years already, through peace sciences, through sociology, through psychology, like you said. And this comes together based on this space for connecting to myself and to my spirituality.
What I'd like to add is that the young people also learn from seeing and imitating. They also learn from other young people, what you call peer group learning and so on. And therefore, that's why we have many opportunities in family, an opportunity in school, and an opportunity in society at large.
And parishes.
That are parishes, I call them parishes. And the parishes for us, especially in Africa, people interact, some end up being friends for a long time. I remember myself, even the young people we went to school, in primary school, we are still in touch with a lot of them. Some are working different places, but we interact. So there is a communal growth. In fact, in Africa, there always this statement that a young man or anyone is only built by a community, not just by a parent, a dad and mom. The community brings up the son or the daughter. And if there are things not happening, anybody can intervene and say, hey, wait a minute, you know. And this is the reality. Our society, we need role models. Once upon a time, I just cited, I was baptizing somebody, he asked me, he gave me a name, and I asked him, what is the speciality of this saint? He said, well, you know, he was a boxer and I like boxing. So that is an example of somebody wants to be like so-and-so. And this is where society needs to role model our young people, especially. All of us, wherever you are, whatever you do, our young people are mimicking, are looking. They either say no or they find it, let's go like so and so. And therefore we must be alert to our all upbringing at different levels and finding position and saying, well, this kind of lifestyle or behavior, sorry, we try to encourage or discourage depending on what positive, negative. Last but not least, as a church, we have programs, different programs at different stages. Like the youth now in many countries in Africa, in Kenya, we have at different stages. We take them at different stages, from the children that are just growing up, given a church group, PMC for example. There are those who are a little different age, and they act communally together to what they are calling the youth YCA, the youth young adults, and then there are others who are transiting from young adults to adulthood, and they become family people. It is us to. It's very challenging. It's not easy because the distraction is there. A lot of distraction, which is positive and also negative. So we are saying we don't give up on them at all times. And this is the very challenging part of bringing up a nation, bringing up a family that cares, that loves, that we model ourselves with Christ, who reminds us who is my neighbor, who reminds us who is your brother, all these kind of things. We are brothers in the faith. We are brothers who have been brought together to support each other, to grow up positively. My best friends are not always the ones I've grown up with. I have many more friends. I've come through church, through sport, through different possibilities. And therefore, upbringing today, it's not easy, but we must be there as church, as families, and also as society at large, so that it is not just a one group. You people, you're no good. And we trash every young person because a few did whatever that happened. We learn from it and we explain why this is not the right way. We encourage them to do exactly the opposite. And without making them feel dejected or rejected. That's how I imagine that can be. The youth programs we have are carrying everybody together at different stages. And when they get to a certain stage, they give you an option to the next stage. I believe we can win the young people if you think there is a problem. Yeah.
Just to also to add this very deep reflection of Archbishop, you see the role model idea. I was educated very much also in the Scout movement. In my country, it's a worldwide movement. It's very, very active in Kenya. Even the regional Africa office of the Scout movement is in Nairobi. So you see the adult accompaniers in the Scout movements, they don't dictate or they don't order what to do, but it's a self-organized way of educating and doing, school movement and sports and what we're doing and going to nature and what we're doing as young people in the Scout movement. But what is necessary is that then you have these kind of role models. You have the adult accompanier, yes. You have your Scout group leader, a little bit more senior, yes. And then within your own group, you find that my friend in the Scout group has qualities, human dignity, solidarity, listening, and all these human attitudes, and then I can take it and educate myself, educate ourselves. I think that is very important. That is why I'm talking about giving space, and this is worthwhile for the Church Paris to open this space, but also for our Peace University.
Can you share with us in this Jubilee of Hope the success stories that this peace university has experienced throughout this time.
To give you just an idea of these 20 years results of peace training and peace accompaniment is that we have 350 certified Pan-African peace builders in 30 countries in the continent. And as I'm talking you as a German, as you can see, I'm the only one from the European side, from the former times of co-founding actually. So I'm remaining in all the accompaniment of these participants and these peace laureates is from the expertise and the role model reality of our trainers from different countries in Africa. So we have, this is already, as I may say, a success story. And then you cannot really, and that is also very important to what His Grace is saying, to listen to even Gen Z, to even the youth people you are expressing maybe in a very spontaneous or also very loud way sometimes. But we have to listen to this, and we can also trust that this kind of expression, together with the peace training and the education and the spiritual guidance, is producing results. We imagine that all these hundreds of professional peace trainers in their institution in the country, one member is in the meanwhile on the National Peace Committee of the government. The other one became minister in a government or in a local. The other one is a member of Justice and Peace Commission in the diocese. Another sister is in the meanwhile the spiritual sister for the novices in a congregation. You know, all these people trained in peace attitude, and they are doing now in their location, in their responsibility, multiplying and training these attitudes that you were talking about. So this all is, according to me, already a success story and a reason for hope. Trust in this young generation, offer them guidance and this space, and they will build their future. Concretely, of course, we have statistics. There are some of the peace laureates already recognized by international peace prizes. For example, a very good friend of mine from Chad got with his organization the Human Rights Peace Prize of the French Republic, you know, given by the French president. We have UNESCO Peace Prize for the Scout Peace Movement in the Great Lake region. You know, so in spite of war in the Great Lake region, these peace builders are still working. And maybe you don't see the macro peace coming in because of all this, you know, different manipulation and politics and whatever, but basically is there. Their seed is there every week, and that is our success story.